the football fans. A target is live on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. We're here to look at all of the big stories making rounds in the footballing world. And today we'll be talking extensively about the Super Eagles as they're set to be in action later on Thursday against Lesotho. We'll give you a list of players who've arrived in camp. We're going to talk to somebody who've been tracking the performance, rather the movement of the boys from Ikot-Ekpene, and of course from the airport down to Ikot-Ekpene where they're camping. And of course, we hear training is going to go down today by 5 p.m. Look at the players in camp. What we should expect in terms of performances. Sadly, there's little limited media access to the players, and that's due to the short span of time they have to train and prepare for this game. So it's that kind of story this time around for Nigeria. But nevertheless, we'll still talk about the players and what we should expect on Thursday. Well, apart from the Super Eagles, it's a delightful story from a Super Falcons perspective. 7 players have been nominated for the CAF Women's Player of the Year award. The nominees were released today, and it's a beautiful story. And we'll look at all of the nominations. 3 players got nominated for the CAF Women's Young Player of the Year award, and we'll look at the players and what this means for them. Basically, after putting up a fine performance at the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Yeah, and of course, of the day, the course of the week as well. And it's a story. Victor Osimhen is set to have a new manager at Napoli. Well, we're hearing the man's name is Walter Mazzarri. He's a former Inter Milan, former Watford manager. We talk about this man's quality, what this means for Napoli, and what this means for Victor Osimhen. Remember, the talks of the man leaving Napoli at the end of the season. Look at these stories and so much more in the course of today's show. Welcome once again. My name is Marizona. So excited to be on the show. I have UT, David, and Blyden who came for company. And together we're going to do justice to everything we have in store for you. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. The numbers that would give you the chance to be a part of the show. I take the numbers again. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. The numbers I would give you the chance to be a part of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to go down. Welcome on board. We'll have to start with the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. They've got a game against Lesotho at the Gospel Club International Stadium, the National Champions, on Thursday. And as of yesterday, we had just 3 players in camp, but the camp is bubbling as we speak to you. So let's do the roll call. Players that have arrived in camp as at 58 minutes to go. Kenneth Omeru is in camp. Iheanacho Kelechi is in camp. Francis Odinaka Usoho is in camp. Sadi Kumar, Ojo Olorunleke, Jamilu Collins, Nathan Teller, the newest boy, newest kid on the block is in town as well. Ola Aino, Chidozia Waziem, Bright Osai Samuel, Bruno Nyemachi, Semi Ajayi, Calvin Bassi, Rafael Onyedika, Joe Aribo, Franco Nyeka, Alex Iwobi, Moses Simon, Tawa Wuniyi, Ademola Lukman, Victor Oko Boniface, the man who has a problem with Damaka, and of course Terry Murphy. Expecting more players to arrive in camp. Well, according to the reports I am getting right now, we hear that Amaso Basogi, the man who was called up to replace Maduka Okoye, has also arrived in the camp of Super Eagles and is set to train by 5 p.m. later today in the team's first training session ahead of the game later on Thursday. All right, so we're looking forward to talking to somebody who has been tracking the movement and the arrival of the boys since they came into town yesterday. And he's going to talk to us about the spirit in the camp and what the boys feel like ahead of the game against Lesotho. But by the way of Leiden, it was a story that made rounds yesterday. Maduka Okoye, we're all looking forward to seeing a bit of a change. Maybe a new name in between the sticks for Nigeria. Okoye, who returned to the national team after some hiatus out. And we're looking at maybe some performances for the man who also has suffered, from game time, lack of game time at Watford initially and then to Udinese, where he got to play his first game in 8 months, but sadly pulled out, withdrew from the national team. We are yet to get a clear picture as to why and why at this point in time. But Amaso Basogi got himself in, thankfully.
Murray, good news for the man Amas for me. He's joining the national team now, but quite sad on the other hand. And one of the things that's making me sad, I always depend on your sources. I've not heard anything from your sources regarding that, and that's concerning.
Tracking my sources.
But basically, I think quite disappointing for the man Maduka Okoye, quite a decent goalkeeper in his best of years, especially at the Dutch League. But joining Watford has been the biggest pain, and moving to Tunisia now, barely played games. Just a few weeks ago, we talked about a cup game. Coppa Italia, he participated in for them. Udinese's debut for the side, played quite well, despite the fact that they lost to Cagliari in that one. But I think it's not good for him because from a coach's point of view, if you're looking at the future, you want a goalkeeper that you bring to the side, despite the fact that he came for Saudi Arabia, stayed on the bench, and you calling him now, especially at a time of crisis with a first choice goalkeeper, and he's withdrawing from the game. Not good for him. But on the overall, you guys always clamor for a new goalkeeper given opportunity. Has opportunity now, or Joe also has his opportunity now, and we hope that a coach gets to give them. But it's another level, I must say. I must critically say this, Murray. When I look at the Nigerian Premier Football League, I look at the national team. That is another level. So any home-based goalkeeper that gets to feature ought to be very careful, because you messed around the post. Guess what? It becomes the end of your career.
Now, UT, let's talk about Basogi. What we heard, he is, by record, in terms of the stats, the best goalkeeper so far this season. He's only letting just 1 goal in 7 MP4 games. He's kept 6 clean sheets, if I'm not mistaken, basically, and has been quite rock solid for Bendel Insurance. So far, so good in the competition. And in the wake of the goalkeeping crisis we have at the national team level right now, where we still are not confident of the people manning the position. And we've heard stories like looking wards, let's get to the NPFL, let's try out names at the NPFL. And we have one right now. What's the chance that this man starts in any of the 2 games we have to play in the course of the week, rather?
I'm expecting that Coach Jose Peseiro gives him an opportunity and, of course, a chance to...
you think he stands a chance of walking straight into the Super Eagles 11?
Not necessarily walking straight into the Super Eagles starting 11, basically, but also given a chance to be tested. That's one thing I've actually discovered with the national team. I've talked about the fact that in the last 2 years, we've seen the man Ujuru Olorunleke being drafted into the Super Eagles side. And back then, 2 seasons back, we were talking about him being one of the best goalkeepers we have here in the league. But every single now and when he's drafted into the national team, He doesn't play. And at this particular point in time, even when we are talking about playing second fiddle at Enyimba International, it doesn't matter, because even when he was in active football, keeping clean sheets, being one of the most talented goalkeepers in the league, he wasn't given opportunity to play with the national team. So I just hope that Hamas Obasogi's issue will be quite different. He should be given a chance to play. Otherwise, we may not likely know whether or not he's good enough for the national team at this time.
Now, Blyden, as I come to you, well, you have made a statement talking about the level of football played at the NPFL, and compared to the national team, which we understand is a different level. The national team is 2 notches higher than the NPFL.
More than
like,
Mari.
maybe I'm just trying to be modest as much as possible, but we also understand that even the players there, some of them started at the NPFL level, basically. We're talking about, the goalkeeping position. As a matter of fact, the last good hand we had there was drafted in through the NPFL.
Yeah.
I understand, that was some years ago. That's 15, 20 years ago, as a matter of fact. However, you cannot bet against the quality of Hamas Obasogi as a goalkeeper, right?
Well, Mari, I think I can bet against his quality. Here's why. I just listened to you. You rolled out the record. And the record sets about this season and probably last season, but mainly about this season, how decent it's been this season. But here's the problem I have with the Nigerian Premier League. Look, the difference between the Nigerian Premier League now and before was the fact that we had seasoned footballers. When you talk about Vincent Enyema wasn't the best goalkeeper in the league. He was the best player in the league at the time. As a goalkeeper drafted into the national team, we're talking about Ahmed Musa at the time. He was the best player in the league consistently, about 2 seasons in the league. So seasoned footballer. We're talking about what's the man now? The man that's gone to Greece, who was part of that under 20, played in the championship side, played for Watford at some time last 2 seasons ago. What's the name now? A short midfielder for Nigeria, quite short, a midfielder, but no more with the team. I'll get to remember his name. He was
at the NPFL.
He was part of the best player in the league at the time. Osazo Dewingi over time, he was the best player in the league. But right now, when you look at the Nigerian Premier Football League, not necessarily about the quality, but having that player that is that consistent for you.
The NPFL still creates good players, right?
Absolutely.
Because for instance, look at Lisanda. He's now become a top player in South Africa.
Absolutely.
Was at a quite right. He was also at Go Round FC.
He was
consistent. Now in United Arab Emirates.
Yeah. So I think it's a case of chance, Blyden.
No,
if he gets the chance.
I think it's a case of being. National team is not a place to just give people chance, everyone chance. That's it. It's called a national team for a reason. Here's the concern.
If it's not a case of giving people chance, why do we have new kids on the block?
Can I finish?
Yeah.
Here's it. It's about giving people chance that are consistent. Look at what other clubs are doing. That's why I complain about the coach and not utilizing the friendly window. Now Cole Palmer was drafted to the English national team because other players have been injured, and then they looked at it, he's in fine form, and that form can be temporary. We'll look at it now, he's in form at the moment. But guess what? It's not in the biggest of games. Do you understand? So he gets integrated in the national team. But we're looking at this game now. It's a high-profile game.
Yeah, no intent to go to shit.
Let me say something.
Yeah.
He talked about being consistent for 2 years. Cole Palmer hasn't been consistent for 2 years. He's just having his best season with Chelsea now.
That's the point
He's
I'm
drafted
making.
him with the English national team during the World Cup qualifiers.
I'm not even talking about
it's a game
all
of
that because you want to look at consistency.
Against who? Malta.
Against who?
Come on.
In Nigeria?
Now, guys,
you're underrating teams at this time.
Let's move on, guys. Basically, let's talk about the case of chance, opportunity, right? It's something we've been clamoring for. We understand the league is not as at the level we expect it to be, but that doesn't change the fact that we have quality players in this league, as a matter of fact. And maybe this is Hamas Obasogi's chance at getting signed by some top European club. If he does well. So this is also a chance of marketing the players.
It could also
give him a chance first, and we can actually judge from there.
It's a 50-50.
You can never tell.
No disrespect to Francis or whatever, but so far so good. We're not impressed. So try somebody else.
Try somebody else. That's basically.
I'm not disagreeing to that. I was just bringing scenarios because we always say give these footballers a chance. And here's another conversation while we're talking about home-based players. What about players that are featured for the side? One of the reasons I said that was because of Ojo. Look, he's been around the side, but consistency has not been the band. The question was just give him a chance. He's not being consistent. That's another conversation.
When you talk about
I'm not even opposed to what you're saying. Yeah. I'm not even opposed to what you're saying, so you get what I'm saying.
No, but you've said that, calling up the national team is not a place to give people chances. But I just remember Nathan Taylor scored his first goal after he got called up to the national team, right? He's played just 3 games for Leverkusen. 3 games. 1, 2, 3 games for Leverkusen.
And Leverkusen. Why am Murray? I think you guys don't get it. I'm not opposed to giving people opportunity. What I'm saying is, it's a step. Murray, let me tell you something. As a footballer, there's a football pitch that gets you too. You're a good footballer, but you can't control the ball.
Blyden, let's save it at that, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing what happens in the next couple of days, and we'll see who starts the national team. Personally, if you'd ask me to give my opinion, I'll tell you that I'd love to see a different face at the national team in the goalkeeping position. And we have 2 new faces, so try one of them. Maybe Amas, maybe Ojo, try somebody else. All right, so let's see if we can track what's happening over at the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We've got people we are set to talk to, and of course, let's see if we can secure connection with one of them who will be taking us through what's happening in the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria since it arrived yesterday and what's been happening in that particular climb. We'll be linking up quickly with Sidibe Akban, who has been tracking the performance and the movement of the boys since yesterday when they came into the camp. All right, so the man is with us right now. Good afternoon, Sidibe. Welcome to Planet Radio. It's been a while. You haven't made your appearance here. How you doing?
I'm very fine, Isaac. How are you?
I'm great. Let's just get into the thick of the action quickly. Take us through what's happening in the camp of the Super Eagles. 3 players arrived yesterday. We are getting feelers that more players have arrived today. So let's get maybe the list, maybe the players who have gotten into camp and the ones who are expected before the end of today.
Well, I think we have almost all the players. Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Sidibe. We can hear you.
Hello,
Sidibe.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, just go ahead. We can hear you.
We have all the players expected already in camp. Today we've seen the likes of Nathan Taylor. We had lots of players that came in yesterday. Maybe Simon and Lukman. Tyler will be coming back senior and guys are Spaggy Samuel, all of them they are in so I think it's already full house. All the players expected are here. That's why Osman and other issues. So this body. We have all the players that are expected to play for the Tigers already.
All right. Now, we're hearing stories that there's a training session slated for 5 p.m. Nigerian time in Uyo for the Super Eagles, and that would be the first training session ahead of the game on Thursday. Can you confirm that for us, please?
Yeah, definitely. We have that fans are going to be allowed to watch the game. So, at the session at 5 p.m. Your fans, urban fans, Nigerians, see the players, take themselves around some places, all the things that need to be to recover ahead of tomorrow's game, because we are expecting a serious game tomorrow. Now what we have today is about making sure that the players that are coming in, the exercise, they check out the fatigue that they might have experienced from their fights, the performance that they are expecting. So I think that's what's going to happen today, and we'll go to see the players.
All right. So as we let you bounce, so we can talk about other stories, I'd love to get your personal thoughts on something that has been a subject of debate right here in the studio. It's about Amos Obasogie getting called up to the national team in the stead of Maduka Okoye, who sadly withdrew yesterday evening. It's been a conversation of trying out a new face at the goalkeeping position of the national team, which has been a position of concern over time. And I'd love to get your thoughts. What do you make of Obasogie getting called up, and what are the chances of maybe, the fans seeing a new face in between the sticks on Thursday?
In between the sticks, I think it's going to be Francis Uzoho, who's going to kill for the Super Eagles of Nigeria against Lesotho. But at the same time, I think it's good for the NPFL to good pass to get the shot. I think Amato Sagi is good. Already particularly challenge. Since last week, they had the beginning. Arsenal to support the NPFL. I think it's a good thing for them.
All right.
As in the have the chance, to experience what it's like to be national team. So I just expecting them to sit down.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Insidibe, for talking to us. We hope to get more updates from you in the coming days before Thursday.
Thank you, it's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right, so let's also talk about the opponent. Let's not be too full of ourselves as Nigerians. 23 players and 9 officials of the Crocodiles of Lesotho arrived in Uyo today, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, ahead of the game against Nigeria. The team is handled by Coach Leslie Notsi, was received by the members of the Akwa Ibom State Football Normalization Committee at the Victor Atta International Airport and have been taken to the camp. And of course, the teams will have their first training sessions today at the practice pitch of the Nest of Champions. And it's a story. Well, UT, talking about the opponent of the Super Eagles, Lesotho, the national team, they're called Crocodiles, basically. And by experience and by what you've had the chance to see as fans of Super Eagles, we should not underrate any opponents. Nobody saw Sierra Leone coming, remember? Nobody saw Liberia coming at some point, basically. But you cannot bet against the fact that this team have come to upset whatever it is that we're planning.
I think it's a big game, basically. We're talking about the FIFA qualifiers. Every single team playing during the qualifier stages wants to qualify for the FIFA World Cup finals. And I think that should actually be, one of the ambition of Lesotho coming to Europe right here. So I do not feel the Super Eagles of Nigeria, despite the quality we have, despite many Nigerians seeing it as a stroll in the park for us, looking at the quality compared with the Lesotho side, we should also take it as an important game. Also, try to execute whatever match game we have to perfection. And that should actually be the watchword for Coach Jose Peseiro. Because basically, if we tend to underrate this Lesotho side, we can actually see major upset. And that may just likely set the tone for what we should be anticipating in other games before the qualifier ends. So moving forward, we should take this game as important as it is. Also try to win the very first game. Might just set the template for what we should be expecting in other qualifiers to come.
All right. We'll talk about the game on Thursday, and that'll be later on Wednesday, basically. And of course, we'll also get a clear picture as to how the tickets are going to be sold. We hear that the prices have been fixed. 1,000 naira for the regular stand. VIP is 2,000 and the VVIP is 5,000. I was speaking to my friends out today, talking about the ticket. She's a lady, and she said if she pays 5K for the VVIP, there's a chance that she can marry one of the boys. Like, what's that? What do you mean by that? But that's a conversation.
Well, I think this need for payment, it shouldn't be 5K anyway. Talking about the regulars, not the VIP for me.
Yeah.
The regulars, there's need for payment. I remember the incident that happened the last time.
Yeah, Stampede and all.
Absolutely went to the stadium, couldn't find a space to watch the match, even with I'm telling you, as a media person, I couldn't find a space to watch the match. I was hanging.
Even with your media tag,
even with my media tag, it was that bad.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, we take calls in. We'll get your thoughts on the stories around the goalkeeping position. Amos Obasogie, the Bendon Insurance goalkeeper. Is there a chance that you would want to see this man start at the goalkeeper position for Nigeria on Thursday, looking at the recent crisis we've suffered in that position? Let's talk about the CAF Awards gliding for the women. It's been a beautiful story and something quite delightful. Nigeria ruling the women's game in Africa. Well, first of all, Nigeria has been nominated for the National Team of the Year in the women's category alongside Burkina Faso, Burundi, Ghana, Malawi, Morocco, Senegal, South Africa, Tanzania, and Zambia. And it doesn't just end there. Coach Randy Wardrum has also been nominated for the Coach of the Year in the women's category, alongside the coach of APEM Dakwa Ladies, Nana Jo Adakwa, the coach of the Malawian women's national team, Lovemo Fazili, the coach of SC Casablanca, Mehdi El Kwechori, the coach of ASF out of Morocco, Mohamed Ahmed Aliou, the coach of the Moroccan women's national team, Reynald Pedros, the coach of the Senegalese women's national team, Musa Cisse, the coach of the Banyana, the South African women's national team, Desiree Alice, the coach of Mamelodi Sundown Ladies, Jerry Shabalala, as well as the coach of JKT Queen. We are ready for the World Cup. Of Morocco, Kaylin Swart of South Africa, Nadia Tabas Idris of Tanzania, Catherine Musunda of Zambia, Cynthia Shungwe of Zimbabwe. Alright, so well, for the Young Player of the Year, the nominees, of course, good to see Nigeria ruling this category. 3 Nigerians in this category: Deborah Abiodun, Esther Akpayemi Ajakaye, and Oluwatosin Demehin. Other players include Comfort Yebo of Ghana, Maryam Ponsa of Ghana, Nasser El Chad of Morocco, Habsatu Diallo of Senegal, Thubelihe Shamasi of South Africa, Winifreda Gerald of Tanzania, and Fauzia Nijemba of Uganda. Well, for the CAF Interclub Player of the Year, there's no Nigerian, sadly, because, of course, we could not participate at the CAF Women's Champions League this season, so we'll just skip that. Well, this is where the brain-busting story comes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Nigerians made it to the CAF Player of the Year award. The nominations, as a matter of fact, real out the Nigerians. First of all, there is Super Z, Asisa Toshola, Chiamaka Nadozi also makes it to the cut. Uche Achibe Christie, Osinachi Hale, Rashida Tajibadi, Tony Payne, and Uche Nakano, the Nigerians that made it to the Player of the Year award, the nominees, as a matter of fact. Right, two other players include Ajara Nchot of Cameroon, Evelyn Bard of Ghana, Tabitha Chawinga of Malawi, Tema Chawinga of Malawi, Anissa Lamari of Morocco, Fatima Tanahut of Morocco, Gizlani Chebak, Morocco, Ibtisam Dredi of Morocco, Khadija Rimchi of Morocco, Zenata Koman of Zambia. These names are quite remarkable. Ndeye Awa Diakate of Senegal, Andile Dlamani of South Africa, Hilda Magaya, South Africa, Germaine Sepufe of South Africa, Linda Mutlalo of South Africa, Rafilo James, South Africa, Thembi Christine Gatlana, South Africa. There's also Afi Sabina of Togo, Sabrina Eluzi of Tunisia, Fazila Ikwaput of Uganda, Barbara Banda of Zambia, Grace Chanda, Zambia, Rachel Kundananji, Zambia. Alright, so guys, get your thoughts quickly. Nigeria rolling the CAF Women's Awards expected right after that performance at the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, Blinder.
Well, I'm quite happy seeing some of the girls being nominated for this particular award. One of it being Christy Uchebi for me. I think she's been the most fascinating footballer for me in that category. Also the goalkeeper of the national team, Wadozie, for me. Exceptional footballer for me. And I see Sato Shola, she's won it 5 times already. Can she add a 6th time? She's performed quite well, but Barcelona also had some good appearances at the World Cup for Nigeria, quite popular one. But I have worries for Nigerians because South Africans are part of that mix.
Yeah.
Remember, they won the Nations Cup, so definitely have to have an inkling in that direction. Also, Moroccans are quite exciting.
Sure.
We saw them perform at the Nations Cup too. Even at the World Cup, they qualified from the group stages of that competition, and it makes sense. If it ought to be predominated by the World Cup performances, then Nigerian should take it. And the favorite from a Nigerian point of view for me would be the goalkeeper, exceptional goalkeeper, and I see Sato Shola being part of it.
Uche is also nominated for the Goalkeeper of the Year award. Nobody comes close to performance in the season review, right?
Arguably, I think she's been one of the best, particularly when it has to do with goalkeepers. Doing quite well during the FIFA Women's World Cup, and just recently also doing giant strides with Paris FC. I've seen how this
sent Arsenal out of the Champions League.
Women's Champions League, and she's had a couple of saves from the spot kick.
Yeah,
it certainly shows you how good she is, particularly on the continent of Africa. I'm also looking at competitors. It looks like no one come close to the lady, Chiamaka Nnadozie.
How about Randy Wardrobe?
Wolfsburg, not Arsenal.
Yeah, Wolfsburg rather. Yeah. So Randy Wardrobe, Bladden? Yeah. Coach of the year.
I think it's
any chance of winning it?
He's got his moment. That's what I'm saying. If we have to look at the World Cup alone, well, he was part of that team at the Nations Cup. I think I wouldn't want to give it to him. I wouldn't want to give the best team to Nigeria, and I'll give it to South Africa. Winning that African Nations Cup, that was something phenomenal. Nigeria played quite well at the World Cup, but the question would be, what did they win at the end of it? Good performance doesn't account for trophy if you don't get to win the trophy. So best team for me is South Africa. I think follow-up would be Morocco. They were quite decent at the World Cup, and the most improved team in Africa for me, I'll give it to Morocco if there were to be an award from that angle. But Randy Wardrobe winning it, no, I'll give it to the South African coach to win.
All right, let's get your thoughts in. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Nigeria bagged a total of 15 nominations for the CAF Awards this year, the men and women's category. So that's good news for me. And the UT's awards makes for good reading. Good afternoon, welcome to the show. We're taking calls now, so get the calls coming in. Let the phone lines buzz. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. I hear that we're also streaming live on the official Facebook page, so go there, drop your comments, and the guys will take them as they come. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Arizona.
Yeah, welcome.
Good afternoon to everybody.
Welcome to
I want to use that between you guys based on the economy in terms of transport and money at the moment is not easy. I give kudos to you guys for updating us from the what happened in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much.
In the Super Eco. This is what happened against the Saudi. To me, I believe the Russian was supposed to be better. At least we need a new face in that purpose.
Thank you very much, Idifreke, for talking to us. We did a new face in the goalpost this conversation. Hello, Victor, the Sports Oracle. Yes, welcome, Victor.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yes, let me talk about well, the players that are fighting the survivors and also some of the players who have been key players of the survivors. The defendants are motivated whether they want to be better in the field, which is football. Those who ever have the opportunity to do well. And also for the coach, we really need the survivors to win money. As for the FIFA Women's Award, I'm happy that the Super Falcons did it.
All right, Victor.
So for the young players, I believe that our Nigerian ladies should be for them.
Thank you so much, Victor, for talking to us. You're in a place where things are happening. Happy for you. Good afternoon. The Sports Messiah. Yes.
Thank you very much for the recognition.
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. You today with the Bloody Nighties. Good afternoon. Mary, I've heard you all almost debating who to be on the goalkeeping position. We all know Francis will start, no matter what all of the Nighties guys that should come. The experience counts, even though the experience that we're looking for always give us that break. But if maybe NFF himself, maybe I've shown the list, and Pesero himself also give him a chance. Let him prove himself, as he said, if you think he can really come and sign this. If he give us another wrong input and result, then that means we know definitely result is out of context. But let's just see what will happen in nearest people. That's my take this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Your thoughts. Appreciate it. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, sports analyst. Remain Mr. Easy on the line.
You're welcome.
Before I get into the Super Eagles issue, let me quickly congratulate Liverpool and the entire player for the last weekend outing. Let's back to the Super Eagles. I want to see the Super Eagles with the new sort of player coming out against their opponents. When we are talking about the issue of Super Eagles, it is not something that fans should start to worry about the kind of opponent, because these guys are not found in the name of football as long as football is concerned. So our fans should understand that first. And as for the sort of player that has been invited by Kenaro, is it
Joseph Pesero.
Joseph Pesero. So we should be watch various players, because all these guys are playing with their different clubs. If you do well with your club, you have to do well with the Super Eagles. So there is no cause for alarm. But my concern is that we should include our local player in the league. At least 5 of them. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Marizela, good afternoon to you guys. To on the line.
Yeah, welcome to Nero.
Yeah, I'm happy to welcome the Super Eagles back to the list of champions.
Yeah.
National Stadium. That's the place that they need to be. We have the best fans here to take them off. We have the best hotel for those who enjoy after their games. We have the best road for them to play. We have everything fixed for these people. Now, I know very well that Super Eagles is the team to beat. And they must do all proud by, giving us something to cheer up. Away from that, I want to quickly, as well as people still complain of the goalkeeping department, when we are talking about Enyema that did very well. Why don't they bring Enyema to become the goalkeeper trainer for Super Eagles? Remember, the Bible even says that iron sharpened iron. So why are we wasting time? Why can't we do the needful and bring this young man to do the needful for us? Thank you very much for having me on Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. A different aspect to the conversation. Bring back Enyema as a goalkeeper trainer. These are the stories. Was you taking more calls? Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Bishop Itika, coming from that.
Welcome, Bishop Itika.
Thank you. I want to talk about the coach. So I want to say that the new issue that he has fought, and the issue is not well guaranteed. I want to say that in any time that I want to pay for South Africa, let's need to look for a good issue, because South Africa is something that is seven countries also. They need to work for before. They need to look for a good issue so that we can be able to do what to be on top on the good. That's my thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take 2 more calls and we'll talk about Napoli, and that's because of Victor Osimhen. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Hello. Top Gunner. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Call us back. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Arizona. My name is Emmanuel.
Your name is?
Emmanuel. I'm calling from Modi Africa.
Welcome, Emmanuel.
Okay. Thank you. Very quick one. There is a light at the end of the tunnel for Super Eagles. If only the Super Eagles coach will do the needful.
Which is?
The needful is that we need a new face in the goalpost. It's either Jose should man the post or the other new guy that is just invited. We don't need Usoro again. 1, 2. I've heard that your analyst there talking about the level of football in Super Eagles, in the national team and of the Nigerian League. I want to tell you, remember 2013, Godfrey Obubona, it was home base. Remember Sandemba, it was home base. What level of football are we talking about? We are talking about the people that have the desire, the zeal to play all their mind for the Super Eagles. And I've seen Uzo is not even there. We have given Uzo over 2 years. He has been under experiment for a long time now. Look at that Okoye. He should have been one to take over the place. But because of this, all these things, I don't like it.
All right.
I have faith for Super Eagles to take over to win the match. If only Uzo will be at the bench. Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking to us this particular afternoon. Alright, so you to track the Facebook page for us. Let's take comments from there. But Blyden, here's the story. Rudy Garcia has come under intense fire and he's been pushed out of Napoli as we speak to you. There's a new coach, a new man in the block we hear. His name is Walter Mazzarri. He's an Italian born on the 1st of October 1961 and he's set to succeed Garcia as the new coach of Napoli. I had to dig in very deep to look at this man's record. Well, I started coaching in a small club. I started coaching as an assistant in Napoli in 1998, joined Sampdoria as a new coach, and then left Sampdoria to rejoin Napoli as their first team head coach and was there for a period of 2 years. And, left there to join Inter Milan and then Watford and then Torino and then Cagliari. And according to, the stats, his honors include winning the Coppa Italia, not winning it, getting to the final in 2008 with Sampdoria. He won the Coppa Italia with Napoli in 2011. And he was runner-up at the Supercoppa Italiana in 2012. Finished second in the Serie A in 2012 as well. That's his best run as a Napoli manager. Returns to Napoli right now. And we have to talk about the biggest of our man there, Victor Osimhen. I mean, he's Nigeria's hottest prospect now. Well, one of them, because we're now having a lot of hot prospect at club football, is Victor Boniface and the rest of them, as a matter of fact. Well, Walter Mazzarri, well, you want to look at his recent, jobs, it's not been fine. Left Inter, sacked after a run of disappointing results after just 1 year. Went to Watford, never did so well. At Torino, never worked for him. At Cagliari, as early as 2021, never worked for the man. The Napoli team right now needs somebody that can bring stability to the side. What do you make of this man's appointment?
Well, I think Napoli as a football club is overly rated for me, not that of the biggest of clubs to think of. And you look at the way they make signings, not often you get to see Napoli go for a Marco name, get to sign the best of names. It's a club that gives people chance, just as we've been talking about giving players chance. It's typical from the previous coaches, the players that are at the club. I think the biggest momentum I've seen from them was picking Victor Osimhen at that amount of money. It was a price statement, but typically of what it is, 4 years after the man is returning to the club, that's the story. Former Manchester United, it's former Napoli coach, and that's the story. It's only for us to wait and see. It was the same thing with Garcia. Everyone looked at it coming from Saudi Arabia and said, is it a fit for the job? I said, well, let's give him a chance and see how it is. But it's not really worked out. I wouldn't really blame the coach enough for the problems of Napoli. I've looked at the setup. Because when you win the league, the pressure starts coming. Not often you get to win the league back-to-back. The pressure starts coming now. Teams are beginning to take Napoli seriously. Before now, Napoli has been that club that's been unachievers for me until they won the Scudetto. And now they've won it. It's about stability and people are demanding more. And typical of what happens when you are a winner. And now can they be consistent about it? It demands spending money. They're not in that mode. And the man coming in now, Mazzarri is his name, right?
Yeah, Walter Mazzarri.
That's the story. It's another trial. Let's see if it works for
them. We're talking about this because of our man Victor Osimhen. So I'd ask you, what does this mean for him as a player? There's been a lot of talks around his future with Napoli, leaving the side. Yesterday in Mikel Obi's podcast, he said he has a Chelsea jersey, a Man U jersey, and all of that. So all of these talks surround this man's future and his next destination. So Mazzarri coming in, what does this mean for Victor Osimhen and his time at Napoli?
I think it doesn't change the future of Victor Osimhen at this time, because already the problems he had at the start of the season, the off-field issues, was basically the club's hierarchy, basically. And I do not see the change in managerial scene, basically, as being one of the best decisions for him at the end of the season. I think body language speaks volume that he may just likely leave at the end of the season. But I think bringing in a new manager, some would say just coming in to, steady the ship. You've also rolled out the accomplishments of the man Mazzarri. But it looks like when you talk about Napoli, just like Blyden said, after winning the Scudetto title last season, it looks like the stakes are high. The ambitions are quite high as well. I'm not expecting them basically to defend the title they won last season. But then, if you can actually compete, stay in the top three, basically challenging those who are also gunning for the title, that's quite an achievement for me basically going forward. But if you look at Napoli at this time, it looks like they keep dropping in terms of quality and consistency. And that has been one of the major, factor why Rudi Garcia is on the fire at this particular point in time. So Victor Osimhen, managerial changes doesn't change the fortunes.
All right. We'll take a few more calls and look at the Under-17 World Cup. There's no Nigeria there, but let's look at African teams. 09022231011 and 0817-624-8565. We're taking more calls in, but let's look at the Under-17 World Cup. Senegal, they always do good in these competitions, Blyden. They defeated Poland today, 4-1. One player scored 3 goals, Idrissa Gueye.
Yeah.
I mean, has the name of the Everton man, basically, and showing class and quality. Dominic Jersey scored an own goal, by the way, and Senegal defeated Poland by 4-1. Mali, the other African side here, lost early today to Spain. It was yesterday, actually, by 1-0. And Brazil put 9 goals past New Caledonia. Indonesia played 1-1 against Panama yesterday. England 2-1 against Iran. Japan losing to Argentina 3-1 as well today. Let's look at the table and how African teams are faring. Well, in Group B, Mali sits second of the group with 3 points, 1 win and a draw. Group D, Senegal fly very high. They sit top of the group with 6 points, 2 wins from 2 games. Burkina Faso in Group they've played so far and they've lost that game. That's it, the 3 African representatives at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Well, Blyden,
You've talked about Morocco?
Yo, Morocco, Group A. Oh, how did I forget Morocco? Group A. Let's hit second.
Yeah.
3 points, 1 win and a loss. Top stuff. African teams are doing so well.
Yeah, typical of what we see at the under-17 level, and not so well. We started out the first game, they won. Morocco and Mali also won their first game, but it's been concerning. Second game losing. But Senegal, they do well at the group stages. A concern for Senegal for me at under-20, under-17 competition isn't about performing well at group stages. When it gets to the knockout stage, you find them faulted all around, not performing quite well, and that's where Nigeria gets to be beckoned to be called. They're not in this particular competition.
How disappointed is it, UT, that these are competitions where we used to
dominate,
look forward to, because we know we are
basically
either going to get to the final or win it.
That's it.
What happened?
It looks like we're no longer, sticking to the basics, and that's in terms of trying to
MRI scan. What are you speaking English for?
No.
MRI scan. I'm telling you, it's MRI scan.
That's the basic, Mari.
Won the World Cup. At under-17 level, under MRI scan, that's your one.
We're not getting this talent at the early stages, and that's the problem.
It's MRI scan.
Look at Senegal, look at Morocco. They're doing quite well.
Come on. Well, I keep talking about it. Remember the last under-20 African Nations Cup?
Yeah.
Senegal did quite well. We said, Nigeria wasn't doing well. We went to the World Cup. After the group stages, where was Senegal?
Absolutely.
It was only Nigeria sailing at that World Cup. It's that conversation for me. But Mari, no matter how you want to talk about the MRI scanning, there've been decent players that's come under the generation of this MRI scan. Victor Osimhen was part of it.
Yeah.
It all started with that generation. They won the World Cup. Kelechi Iheanacho also still.
No, but how have we been
sustained?
How have we been, stable in bringing out young talent and getting them to? Because
that's why I'm saying
I was
we're
looking
not
at the last set of 17 players.
Yeah.
The only name we hear around is Daniel Daga. Right. He wasn't even there on the 17, he was on the 20.
On the 20.
That's the thing.
The goalkeeper went to Russia, remember?
Yeah, Naguso.
He's in Russia.
No, but how many of those names do we see regularly anymore?
Mary's typical of football.
Yes,
you don't just expect all the players to move from that competition to big clubs.
Look at the Victor Osimhen set, for instance.
Victor Osimhen,
Samuel Chukwueze,
Kelechi Iheanacho was there.
Over time, it happens, Mari. Over time, it didn't just start immediately. They were in the mainstream order. Everyone separated to different clubs or different angles, starting building their career. Right. At the end of it, a few of them are top footballers in the world. That's how it works. But the biggest concern is this, compared to Europe, England, and the rest. The next thing you see, all these players are drifted into their local clubs, and that's how it's supposed to be. But sadly, Nigerian football isn't developed.
All right, let's look at comments from Facebook before we take more calls. Oh, look, as IB says, I can't pay 5K to watch you all. Make I just clear now. And ETA Jim says, good afternoon, guys. Keep up doing the good work. Thank you so much. God bless you too. Jerry Willie says, good afternoon, football fans. Please, Barry, I'm still waiting for Akwa United management to announce the sacking of the coach of Akwa United immediately before it becomes late. Jerry Akwan from Biden. Thank you so much. Chief Umayeweg says, good afternoon. The CAF Awards is good to see Nigerians having loads of nominations. Particularly for me, will be Chiamaka Nnadozie. She was exceptional at the World Cup for the Falcons.
The smiling Umayeweg, right?
Yeah, smiling Umayeweg.
Okay.
And Sifiok Okoro says, my name is Sifiok. Welcome back to Sobregos to Uyo. I want to say, Sobregos, to avoid calculator this time. Start winning your games. For the new goalkeeper that is called up, congrats to him. It also means the other players in the MP4 should do their best. Thank you so much. Famous Junior, he says, I can't wait to watch Sobregos of Nigeria, the National Champions. He says for free. It's not for free, bro. 1,000 naira regular, 2,000 VIP, 5,000 VVIP. Thank you so much. Israeli says, keep up the good work. The suit looks good on you, Bro B. That's Blyden is referring to. I didn't know Blyden's name is Bro B. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Bishop Iteka coming back again.
Yeah, welcome, Bishop Iteka.
Yeah, please, I want to talk about the play for Napoli. To me, I don't want you to play again to play Napoli again. Make him to look for another club and go. Thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Victor the Sport Oracle returns to the show. Oh my goodness. All right, so things we love to see. The man is reunited with his father, Luis Diaz, and it was an emotional moment for him today as he got back to his father who was kidnapped. Hello.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Yeah. The Freaky for the second time.
Yes. I want to talk about my team, Chelsea. I've seen a lot of improvement from my team and my
Freaky is international break, or we can talk Chelsea for another time. You know that, right? Let's talk about your team, Super Eagles.
It's okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so Blyden, as we said to bounce, this man, despite being over 30, still gets called up to the national team in Uruguay. Luis Suarez is his name, set to face Messi with Argentina, some precursor before the Inter Miami move, and that makes sense. Cole Palmer, Rico Lewis, we talked about them yesterday, getting called up to the English national team. Here is the one that will concern you, Blyden, because you know you like this boy and the way he's been pampered. Jadon Sancho. Well, the Saudis have emerged as a possible destination for Sancho, who is unhappy at United in January. He's 23 and is wanted by clubs in the Saudi Pro League, although he's also been linked to Juventus. And that's the story. It doesn't end there. Richarlison has also caught the eye of Saudi clubs. Well, we want to talk about money and maybe a league or a club that would fit, that would match his wage demand. It's in the Saudi Pro League, because I think that if he goes to any other club other than in the Saudis, he would have to take some pay cut of a sort. You're Jadon Sancho, you're 23, what would you do?
Yeah, I'll go to somewhere else, not the Saudi, try to prove a point. In Europe, many people from Manchester United says Jadon Sancho not good enough. And in Germany, everyone remembers him of being such a massive talent in the Bundesliga. So maybe I'll get back to the Bundesliga. I try to work myself up and see if I can get even better. And if you get better, you know, even more money will come from the Saudis even further.
Yeah.
For now, it's time to play football and not be in Saudi Pro.
Well, sad story for the fans of Real Madrid. Bellingham has withdrawn from the English national team due to shoulder injury. Chelsea's Levi Colwill has also withdrawn from the national team. Pretty sad stories there. And well, Richarlison also getting interest from the Saudis.
Well, I do not think he should leave Tottenham Hotspur anytime soon, because as of last season, many said why he didn't really perform was due to the fact that he was, caught under the giant strides of Harry Kane. But now it looks like he's just the point man of Tottenham Hotspur. Despite the struggles at the start of the season, I believe he's still one of the candidates to, put those goals for Tottenham Hotspur aside. The man Son Heung-min and James Maddison who are doing that so far this season. So he should stay put at Tottenham Hotspur and prove a point.
Thank you so much. Well, that's it for the show. Bro B.
No one is going to call me that.
I don't know why.
That's a nice name.
I don't know why he called you that. but I like it.
Absolutely.
Bro B. I like that. Well, so I'm bro.
I love the bro more than bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the bro
bro
is the
Absolutely.
Nigerian thing.
An elder man.
An elder man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bro blighted.
I love it. But Mari,
Yeah.
we could just see a potential Real Madrid forward in the nearest future
Hendrik.
play for Brazil.
Yeah.
Hendrik Rodri, Vinicius Jr. could be something to
And
look
we
forward
could also see the former coach, the current coach Brazil,
Oh,
Ancelotti.
absolutely.
That could make sense.
Something to think about.
All right, so tomorrow we'll talk Mikel Obi's statement of being the most decorated player from Nigeria. And
You made something today.
yeah.
Harry Maguire's statements. You
Yeah.
told the fans. And they told me yesterday they're looking forward to it.
All right. Well, due to the stories of international break in Nigeria, we had to place what is close to us first. But we'll talk Harry Maguire in the coming days. We'll talk Mikel maybe tomorrow.
I just said as a reminder.
All right. Thank you so much, Bro B, for that reminder. Thank you, UT.
Thank you, bro,
It's a
Mari.
pleasure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we do it here. We're back again tomorrow, 7:30 to 8 and 3 to 4 p.m. for more stories. Video Talks comes up right now with the news on the hour. And from there, the Planet Rush comes through. Loads of stuff. Teddy dropped an album list, and she's featuring Billie Eilish. And I wonder what they would sing. There's Burna Boy and Justin Bieber as well in the song, in the album. So something to look out for. And all of that to be discussed with Vina and you. So do all to enjoy what's next at the Planet Rush Show. My name is Marizona.